Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2014 Women of Achievement Luncheon. Please welcome from KMOX Radio, our Mistress of Ceremonies, Carol Daniel.
Well, here we are again. And as we start every luncheon, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please stand and welcome our 2014 Women of Achievement. Please stand. Aren't they beautiful? Gifted and talented, hardworking, tenacious, take no prisoners, women of achievement. Please be seated. And I mean that. This is a group of take no prisoners women. They have done it all. They have changed our lives in St. Louis and beyond. Let us start with acknowledging the Women of Achievement organization as an official celebration partner of STL 250. Women of Achievement has been in existence for 59 of the 250 years. 59 years we've been honoring women who are changing the landscape of St. Louis through their voluntary efforts. And I know you're in the audience because I saw you as I came in racing from that lengthy ballet line that's out there. Let's recognize the Women of Achievement honored throughout our past 59 years. Those of you who are with us today, please stand so that we can say yet again, thank you. Past Women of Achievement honorees. Thank you, ladies. Please welcome Amy Fetter, Rabbi at Temple Israel, for our invocation.
This is my second time at a Women of Achievement luncheon. The first time was exactly 30 years ago when my grandmother, Joy Melman, became a Woman of Achievement. And even though I was a very little girl then, I remember even then realizing that what this meant was that as a woman, I had both the opportunity and the obligation to make something of myself. That it meant that I would be able to do anything that I wanted to as long as I was making this community and the world a better place. And when I looked out and saw so many of you coming in who really have changed who I am and who this community is for the better, I realized that it is because of your tenacity and your strength, of your humility and your wisdom, that so many girls and women are able to grow up with that same idea, that we have the opportunity and the obligation to do something with ourselves, to make this community and this world a better, a stronger, a more whole place. And I pray that for everyone who is here today, and also for our daughters and our granddaughters and our sisters and nieces, and even some of our husbands and brothers and sons as well, that each of them realize that what it means to be here is that if we're serving the community, we are doing exactly what God intended for us to do. There was a Jewish songwriter named Debbie Friedman who sadly died just a few years ago, but her songs and her words made a tremendous impact, not just on the Jewish community, but on people of faith all around the world, and I wanted to offer you just a few words of her blessing. May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May faith and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. Thank you.
That was beautiful. And we are 1 minute ahead of schedule. I just wanted to make note of that. That is very rare in the Women of Achievement history. We are so proud at this moment because it may not happen again. And Rabbi, as the mother of 2 sons, I was not blessed with daughters, but I am, of course, a daughter. The Women of Achievement is so important because I want my sons, I demand that my sons, I prayed that my sons, I expect that my sons, I need for my sons. I strongly desire that my sons find women of achievement, find strong women, find tenacious women, find a wife, because he who finds a wife finds a good thing, if anybody in here has ever read that particular scripture. So women of achievement, it is not just that you're feeding the homeless and staring down rebels and going and fighting civil rights and raising money for the arts and education in St. Louis. Oh yes, you are creating a world where my sons, my babies, the 2 that came from me, will be married to women that I can say, that is my daughter-in-law. My daughter-in-law. So do what you do so that my sons will find the women they are supposed to. And with that, we are on time. Please enjoy your lunch and each other. Thank you. We'll be back with our program shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Carol Daniel.
Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed your lunch. We want to continue our program now, but I do want to take a moment to welcome those elected officials who are brave enough to stand and say that they are elected officials in public, as it were. We do know that the mayor of the great city of St. Louis, Mayor Francis Slay, has blessed us with his presence. Mayor Slay is here somewhere. If you would, thank him as well for supporting the Women of Achievement. A powerful woman indeed. The license collector of the city of St. Louis is here as well, Mavis Thompson. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Trish and I were both giddy like schoolgirls when we found out that this next person was in attendance. I'm just going to say his name and you're just going to go wild. Lou Brock. And I have it on good authority that the reason Lou Brock looks younger is because of his wife, Reverend Jackie Brock. So Reverend Jackie is here. They look amazing, and they are still just thrilling us just by serving as they do in our community. We remember his exploits on the field, but he has gone far beyond that in his life and in our community and the lives of so many who are touched by the work that he and his wife continue to do around the world. Lou Brock and Reverend Jackie, we thank you and God bless you and all that you do. Thank you so much for joining us at the Women of Achievement Luncheon. We love you. There is a wonderful woman to my left, your right, or in front of you, as it were. She is the president of the Women of Achievement organization. If you would, please give a rousing round of applause to Dr. Nancy Bobrow, a woman of achievement for the class of 1996.
Thank you, Carol. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 59th Women of Achievement celebration. Women of Achievement honors extraordinary women who have inspired and helped shape our community for the better. These volunteers represent diverse civic, cultural, and professional leaders whose volunteerism and dedication to making a difference goes way, way beyond the call of duty. In front of you are our 2014 Women of Achievement. They join our diverse group of women from all walks of life who saw a need, had a vision, and stepped up to fill that need through their significant contributions of time, energy, leadership. Each of them has exhibited an enormous spirit of giving to improve lives, enhance the ability of the organizations they serve with their missions, and they strengthen our community. You are surrounded, each of you today in the ballroom, with over 750 people who care as you do about an honoree who has made a profound impact on our community. Thank you. Thank you all for helping us to recognize and celebrate their remarkable commitment and immeasurable contributions to the St. Louis region. As president of As president of this organization and on behalf of all the Women of Achievement, I extend a most sincere appreciation and debt of gratitude to our sponsors. You've been seeing them on the video. I hope you've been looking at the names. This luncheon is made possible through the generosity and support of all of our sponsors, and they're seated out here and up here, and we thank them so much. That deserves applause. And to Carol, I wrote this. Carol, you bring a genuine love of volunteerism, professionalism, wit, charm, and warmth to our luncheon each year. We are so grateful to have the addition of everything you give with your wonderful, dynamic personality, and we thank KMOX Radio for lending you to us to do this, so thank you. So all of you know that luncheons like this and events like this don't happen on their own. It's quite a daunting task to create an incredible luncheon of this scope. Judy Harris is our 2014 luncheon chair, and Karen Castellano, her vice chair. They have led a remarkable team of dedicated volunteers in planning this extraordinary event. My thanks to you, Judy, and to Karen, and to all of you on the committee for creating this wonderful luncheon. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Judy Harris, class of 2010, chair of this year's luncheon.
Thank you, Nancy. Well, here we are all together again, and who would have thought that only 12 months ago at the luncheon, here we are again. And only 22,589 emails later, just kidding. I want to add my personal welcome to you all. I know it is a full program, so I intend to be brief, no matter how long it takes me. It has been my privilege and great pleasure to serve as chair for this incredible event, one that over the past year has involved the dedicated time, talent, and effort of more than 56 prior honorees serving on 14 committees to be able to bring you this today. Thank you all for your great work, and I particularly want to thank and ask you to show your appreciation for the 16 committee chairs and co-chairs, and all of them are listed in your program. I hope you enjoy the beautiful centerpieces on your tables today. Please leave them in place, as Women of Achievement are going to donate the flowers. Thank you, and now I return to Carol.
Oh, that's funny. You guys were already looking under your chairs for a possible number to see if it was yours, weren't you? So sorry. Thank you, Judy and team, for putting together this fabulous luncheon. Please welcome my friend. He happens to be my boss. When he first came to KMOX, he gave a speech. I don't know if you remember this specifically, but he said that family was first in his life. And for me, that meant everything. He is very hardworking, very creative, and you want to make him proud. And that's the kind of boss I hope that everyone has. Please welcome John Sheehan, Senior Vice President and Market Manager, CBS Radio St. Louis, and of course KMOX, a presenting sponsor.
First of all, it's an honor to be a part of this room, but very humbling to be a part of this part of the room. It's always one of my favorite things to do every year. And yes, Carol usually follows up tomorrow and asking for a raise after she says those words. I'm glad we timed her contract meeting to later in the year for sure. Love you. I want to first of all thank my KMOX family at Table 17 for being here, as well as the woman in my life who, a strong woman is important, and I certainly have one. Thank you, Bex. On behalf of KMOX and CBS Radio, I'm honored to be here to support the Women of Achievement organization. KMOX Radio has been a proud sponsor of the Women of Achievement for more than 30 years, all the way back to the legendary Robert Hyland. What he started for KMOX and what he wanted to be a part of with Women of Achievement, I simply try to continue and not screw it up. But most importantly, I congratulate the 2014 honorees today. Thank you for helping to shape our community. It's just so important. Your inspirational leadership, your drive, and your volunteer efforts simply inspire all of us, so thank you. And on behalf of KMOX, we appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this great event. Thank you.
Okay. I just love a man who expresses his love publicly. I love that, John Sheehan, market manager, general manager, love it about you. I shall not ask for a raise this time because I'm impressed by what you just did. But if I can get a couple of extra days off, I think that would be great. I have an 18-year-old son who's graduating from high school Saturday, and our next speaker, who is also a presenting sponsor, was there when he was born. That's how long we've known each other, how long we've respected each other, and she is doing great work in this community. Please welcome my girlfriend, my friend, Trish Moiko-Tobin, who is editor-in-chief, get ready, of the Ladue News, again, a presenting sponsor. Trish?
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Ladue News and the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, I stand here to applaud the class of 2014. A few of you know that for me personally, being one of the first people to get that list of names every year is a genuine thrill. While year after year I do recognize many of the names just because some of the ladies seem to be at every fundraiser and gala in town and are featured in our pages every week, there are also some who go through a lot of trouble to be completely discreet and behind the scenes with their work. But guess what, ladies? This truly is your day to shine, and you deserve every applause and standing ovation that come your way today. In closing, I'd like to borrow an excerpt from a graduation speech to an all-woman class at Barnard College a couple years ago. I thought it fitting for this class that we're saluting today. The speaker's first piece of advice: don't just get involved. Fight for your seat at the table. Better yet, fight for your seat at the head of the table. Then came the second piece of advice, which I thought just summed it all up. Never underestimate the power of your example. I have to thank President Obama for helping me with that closing. Ladies, never underestimate the power of your example. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish. It's my pleasure now to introduce the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze sponsors and supporting and contributing sponsors of this year's luncheon. They are the ones who help the Women of Achievement organization continue this wonderful tradition. If you can stand it, please hold your applause until all of our sponsors have been acknowledged. Our platinum sponsor is Ameren. Our gold sponsors include Centene Charitable Foundation, Emerson Enterprise Holdings Foundation, Heartland Bank, Kwame Foundation, Plaza Porsche, Thompson Coburn LLP, Webster University, Wells Fargo Advisors, Worldwide Technology, and the Stewart Family Foundation. And our silver sponsors are BJC Healthcare, Monsanto, Neiman Marcus, Peabody Energy, PNC Bank, and the Gatesworth. And now our bronze sponsors: Albaret Jewelry, Barry and Myra Sherman, Karen and Jim Castellano, Eagle Bank and Trust, Maryville University, St. Louis, Mary Pillsbury, Technology Partners, the Delmar Gardens family, USA Mortgage, Washington University in St. Louis. Our supporting sponsor is the Mildred Simon Foundation, and our contributing sponsors are BBJ Table Fashions, Blown Away Blow Dry Bar, Creative Producers Group, Premier Rentals, and Thorn Studio. And now, let's hear it for our incredible sponsors. And some of the ladies might be dreading this. Please don't. This is the wonderful part of the program where we get to hear more about you. Please direct your attention to the large video screens as we show a video that honors the efforts of these incredible women whom we are honoring today.
I was an immigrant as well. 26 years ago, I came as a professional, but I had to go through the same obstacles and experiences that any Latino kid I work with goes through. Once I was able to assimilate and to feel comfortable in my own skin and in St. Louis, the next step was, what can I do to someone who is going through the same obstacles and experiences that I had gone to? One thing led to another, and now I'm the head of the Hispanic Arts Council of St. Louis.
You know, I've known Virginia for over 2 decades, and she is relentless, particularly when it is about the two passions in her life, which is art and education.
I think art, as well as education, are the two biggest components to build bridges between cultures, to celebrate diversity, and to have a more inclusive St. Louis community. It gives me great satisfaction when I see someone being more independent and being more assimilated, because that empowers people, and empowers people to be able to contribute more to the community, to have an education, to have a job.
She has a ton of credibility as a scholar, as a professor, knowing the importance that a sound education foundation will provide not only that single student, but the ripple effect it has on the family and on the community. She knows that. She knows it from personal experience, and she knows it from working in the field.
We have helped at the Hispanic Arts Council over 80 kids to go into college.
To her, reward and recognition is the graduation of a student that she's helped. It is the applause or the smiles of those who get to appreciate, the artistic interpretations that she might be able to provide.
It's great to be able to be part of those projects because you see real benefit at the end. If it's a free screening or it's a kid going to college, you can see tangible results.
She likes to say that St. Louis picked her, that this was destined for her.
We can do so many things. We can change our community. We can change our society, one life at a time.
I find a lot of joy in trying to find solutions and helping and just trying to do my bit. I don't have to be in charge. If I am in charge, I try to do the best job I can, but I just enjoy the journey.
Ida's always been very civic-minded. She's always been she's always had a strong personality, and she's very serious about citizenship.
St. Louis lets a newcomer into the meeting so that you can have your voice at the table.
She always felt that this was something that people should do. And she always felt comfortable doing it, always felt as though it was a natural part of who she was.
I would really give my mom a lot of credit for that. She did a lot of community service through her sorority. I always admired that, and I attribute anything that I do to my mom's influence.
I think if there was anything that really defined her life, were the years in the Junior League. I mean, she really got into the Junior League and meant a great deal to her, and she saw it as an opportunity for real leadership.
It just really spoke to me, the mission, volunteerism, helping the community, helping to improve the community. The focus was always on families and children, and it was a launching pad for me.
It meant so much to her to train other women in leadership positions, and so she's really proud of that.
I'm just really proud that I've had the opportunities that I've had.
The work she's done for places like Epworth and Emmaus, Girls Inc., Eden Seminary, those boards that she served on. I'm very proud of the work she's done with Washington University as well.
Washington University has been very, very supportive of everything we've ever attempted to do. And I have had a variety of opportunities to serve there. In 2007, I came to my current position, but I'm also the coordinator for the university's Women's Society.
She's my hero. I mean, I really look up to her. I wish I could be as committed to the kind of civic causes and civic vision that Ida's committed to. I just admire it.
It's possible to make a difference and to have things when you look into the future or when you've gotten into the future and you look back to see that things have changed for the better. And I liked being a part of that.
When I was probably about 5 years old, I remember my dad always leaving to go to the office and to this magical place called the hospital. And I really want to go to the hospital, but I know he's going to say no if I ask. And so I just decided to get in the car, and I laid down in the back seat. By the time he got to the hospital, I really thought I was going to be in a lot of trouble. And he wasn't angry at all. He took me with him on rounds that day, and so I got to see him going in and meeting with patients and interacting with them. And I realized, what he was doing was really important, and I knew that's what I wanted to do too. Both of my parents, I think, were very inspirational in my volunteering. It seemed that they were all about service to others. One of the first things that I recognized in my training was how important preventive medicine is to everyone's well-being.
Eva's been a member of the Board of Trustees of St. Louis University probably as long as 12 years.
My passion about healthcare initiatives is getting people healthcare and providing them education and access to preventive healthcare.
Eva brings not only her knowledge of medicine, because Eva is a physician and was a practicing physician, but she also brings her commitment. For the last 20 years, sophomore medical students of St. Louis University have run a free health clinic.
They essentially provide health care for patients who don't have insurance and can't afford medical care. I was contacted by the students to see if I could help them find a place in North St. Louis.
We needed a bigger, better place in a better location.
And then I took them to one of our buildings, the Victor Roberts building, and kept my fingers crossed and hoped that they would envision that same space.
We signed a long-term lease with Eva, $1 a year, and basically went in to build out that space. And then Dr. Frazier came up with a great idea that the physicians, the African American physicians, who were the leaders at the former Homer G. Phillips Hospital, needed to be remembered.
Homer G. Phillips Hospital was actually the place where African American patients were being seen.
And so in our waiting room, in that facility now, around the wall, there are these large plaques with a photograph and a small biography.
I'm hoping that as people come through that lobby and see those photos, they'll be inspired. You know, somebody asked me once, why did you become a doctor? And I said, well, you know, I like helping people. And it's just really that simple. I would tell anybody that it doesn't matter what you have to offer, there's a place for you to give. Everybody has that ability to make a difference.
I always loved athletics and played a lot of high school sports, and about the age of mid-40s, my niece came to me and said, why don't we run a marathon? And that's what kind of started me on my journey of endurance sports.
On a typical week, Terry, when she was training for the triathlon, she would run 35 miles, bike 200 miles, swim 10,000 meters. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to get a couple of chemo treatments.
So 2 weeks after I completed my second Ironman, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, which had already metastasized to my liver. My sisters, 2 weeks after I was diagnosed, both had colonoscopies, and one had precancerous polyps and one was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. So then it became our mission really to spread awareness about colon cancer, because it's the disease, it's the one cancer that nobody wants to talk about.
Terry Grieg is the most extraordinary person I know. She's strong and she's courageous, and she has forever changed the face of how people view someone who's diagnosed with cancer. Cancer picked the wrong person when it messed with Terry.
I sent my story into Ironman, and they chose me to be an inspirational athlete at the World Championship Ironman in Kona, Hawaii. That was what gave me the platform really to begin. And from there, it wasn't something that I was just out looking to do. Then it just pretty much happened.
In trying to raise money for Pedal the Cause, because we both are very passionate about finding new treatments and cures for all cancers, Terry's always been the #1 fundraiser, and I've always been sort of right behind her.
Lisa and I will laugh, okay, because I'll look at her, I'm like, you are going down, Lisa. I am totally gonna out fundraise you.
In this competition, this friendly competition, there's no competition. She's my inspiration, she is my hero.
Here's the secret. The more you give, the more you receive.
Everything that she stands for and everything she does right now in her life is to inspire and to save lives. And that's how she lives every day.
You know, as long as I can keep moving forward and do the things I love to do, I'm gonna keep doing it. There's nobody gonna stop me.
I've always been interested in health, education, and art. The culture that's available here is unbelievable. The city has been so good to me that anything that I can do to help it, I'm willing to do.
I've known Phyllis about 10 years. I met her through organization work in St. Louis, and became fast friends because we share the common goal of helping other people. Fast forward many years, and she's done so many things, and she's done so many committees.
Now I'm on the Contemporary Museums Board, I'm on the Sheldon Art Galleries, I'm on the Sheldon Foundation. I have served on Lohmeyer's board, I've served on the Scholarship Foundation board, so I feel like I'm all over the board, so to speak.
I feel that she has a passion for St. Louis and that she really wants to help other people.
My hope is that everyone will appreciate what we have here, because it takes people, finances, and volunteers.
It's contagious what she does, and people who are with her feel the energy that she has for making a difference in the lives of other people.
I really want to watch these children move up through the educational ladder of the institutions that they're attending, whether it's Craft Alliance or the Contemporary. And several of them have gone on to graduate schools. So it's very warming to know that these boys and girls who have gone through a program that the community supports have continued on.
She just keeps going. She just never stops. She's like that Energizer bunny who never stops.
I make time. I love people. I have good time management. I'm able to put it all together and know what I can do, when I can do it, and so it works.
The St. Louis community benefits because Phyllis Langsdorf lives here.
There's always a place for a volunteer. You can always find a home. All you need to think about is what you like to do, whether it's the arts or music or schools, whatever. I just think it's important for all of us to give back.
When I was a little girl, my mother would come to the dinner table and my father, and they'd say, "What did you do for somebody else today?" And I'd look at them and go, I went to school. I've really been a volunteer in some capacity throughout my life. One of the most fulfilling and rewarding things that I've ever done is work with Doorways that provides housing and supportive services for people affected by HIV and AIDS.
At Doorways, Diane is our board chair. So her job is to not only manage the board and the governance and those aspects of what a board of directors does, but she also rallies the troops. She keeps everyone engaged. She puts people in leadership positions and really inspires the best of people.
One of the things that I really believe in as a theme for me and volunteerism is the grassroots level work.
She can be at a very high level and, chair a board, or she can answer phones on a suicide hotline or a help hotline like she did at St. Louis Effort for AIDS.
It was a very controversial time and people were extremely afraid of infection. It broke my heart. It broke my heart to see people dying, to see people rejected. So many people were homeless because they were abandoned by families and friends.
Diane is a person that's just full of passion. And she's able to look outside of herself and realize that other people haven't had the same background, education, experiences that she's had, and she uses her own personal blessings to bless other people.
If you are giving back to your community, if you're connecting with people, if you're engaged, you're going to live a better life, you're going to live longer. So it's a little bit self-serving.
She's passionate about helping people. She's passionate about social justice, about youth. There's so many areas of her life that she's passionate about.
Those are things that touch my heart in a profound way. It just feels good to roll up your sleeves, get in the trenches, and find allies and do the work. What I'm most proud of is that my father would be happy with the work I've done. And I know my mother is proud and my family's proud, and that makes me feel very proud.
I don't know how I got that sense that there were some things that were wrong in the world, but as long as I can remember, with my classmates, with my family, with my friends, I'm the person that will speak up when things aren't going the way that they're supposed to, and I want to be that voice for those people that don't have a voice.
Well, I got to know Diane from working with the St. Louis Crisis Nursery, but what I've come to grow and just love about her is it is not easy work. It's not a cakewalk working at the Crisis Nursery, and that she can do that and accomplish that and still have the energy to go on to tackle 2 other vexing problems in our community, domestic violence and homelessness, just blows my mind.
So after being a volunteer at the Crisis Nursery for a number of years, the then executive director position became available, and I threw my name in the ring. A big part of why I was put on this earth, I believe, is to be the leader of that organization.
Diane is a very devout person. She's very spiritual, and I think she utilizes her belief to carry her through some really, really challenging things that I know she sees, and she doesn't always talk about them.
I got a phone call that a whole apartment building was being evicted, and I stopped everything and I got in my car and I drove down, and I worked all day and I worked all night to make sure that those families had a place to go. If I today can help one person know that they're cared about, know that somebody's wrapping their arms around them and giving them hope, then I feel like I am living my purpose.
I think Diane impacts St. Louis by working with individuals at the level where they are in their darkest hour, by helping them find those little shreds of health, of goodness, of something positive.
It's figuring out that day. What can we do that day to make that person's life better?
I think it's just inherent in her being, which is not to say that she doesn't have to probably talk herself into thinking of the positive things when she does see the ugly side of life. I mean, that's the stuff that this woman does.
I do it to give hugs. I do it to be the mother that's there to take care of everybody when their moms can't be there. And that's kind of how I see myself. And I'm committed to it, and I'll do it the rest of my life.
I grew up with a mother who was an incredible role model for volunteering. And the lesson was, you have the opportunity to take advantage of your gifts and pay them forward.
The cancer patients of Missouri could not ask for a better advocate than Joanne Shaw.
I am personally very committed to the 2 organizations, Leukemia and Lymphoma and Conquer Cancer. Our goal is a world without cancer.
What inspires Joanne Shaw, I think, is those less fortunate, those in need. As a 4-time cancer survivor herself, I think she really relates and understands what they're going through and just tries to make it better.
I really don't want to see another child go through a cancer diagnosis. So Conquer Cancer is inspirational to me. We have delivered collectively over 900,000 pillowcases, and we'll probably reach 1 million sometime in 2014. What we hear from our nurses is that it's a wonderful way to go into a patient's room. These children are scared, they're not feeling well, they're really frightened, and there have been some sad stories, but they're still inspiring. So we've had the call from the parent who said, "My child died, but I buried him with the pillowcase." Or the mother that called and said, "My child's brother and sister sleep with the pillowcase because it reminds them of their brother." So, excuse me, but it's really inspirational.
It's from other cancer patients that she gets her strength.
I'm especially proud that the governor signed SB 668, the oral chemo parity bill.
35% of the cancer treatments right now that we're using and that are in the pipeline don't even have an IV equivalent.
With oral parity, we were simply asking, and the bill does this, the patients now have a choice. And if you have a type of cancer that can be treated with a pill, which targets only the bad cells, you don't lose your hair, you can go to work and feel that you're still contributing to society, which is very important for patients.
This was the message that I think legislators maybe had not heard, and you just want to clarify information for them, so that they can make a better decision. And if you don't make Joanne's decision, she'll be at your door.
No is not an answer. So I feel even more inspired and excited that we are going to have a world without cancer at some point in time. And that's what this is all about.
I love the unconditional love. It wasn't as much, I think it was more of a selfish thing that I wanted to love somebody, and hold on to somebody and take care of them.
Lutheran Family and Children's Services is a nonprofit. We're a full-service agency, even though my heart is with child welfare and with fostering and adoption.
I'd seen someone at my girls' school, my older girls' school, that did foster care, and I woke up and I said, I think I'm going to do this, but I only wanted to do newborns. And it took me about 9 months to get my license, and from there, since then, it's been 18 years. And 59 babies. And they're all becoming of age now. My oldest baby is 18, so they all are, and we're very good friends with that family, and we see him all the time.
She also has been really good about just checking in with them and saying, how's this one doing or how's that one doing? Or I was cleaning out a desk and I found another picture of so-and-so, so, I want to send this off to you.
It usually gives us a 24-hour notice, and we'll either meet her. There's many times that we've switched baby, take the baby from one car to the other in a parking lot. We used to switch babies there all the time. We're sure people thought something really illegal was going on.
When I was doing her home study years ago, she said she's always just had this love for children.
Everyone asks me why and how. And the next biggest question is, how do you give them up? And that is the hardest thing. I think part of it goes back to my mother, who was adopted. She was put in an orphanage and adopted at the age of 3, and I feel that something comes from that. I'm not sure what.
It's just the way Linda is. I always tease her because with her last name being Linda Share, she shares everything. Not only does she share her heart and home with all of our foster babies, I can call her and say, I have a family that's in great need for whatever. And the next thing I know, it's in my office. So she's just the type of person who wants to give and give and give. We are truly blessed to have her be a part of our agency, a part of our community.
My wish would be for all children to be safe and happy and well taken care of, and have pajamas to wear at night and books read to them and be tucked in, be able to brush their teeth, just have a normal childhood and just have someone that loves them.
I was raised in a family of 5 girls, and it never occurred to me that you couldn't do whatever a boy did. I never felt like women did this and men did that. I just felt like you could do what you want.
Pat's an absolutely remarkable person. She's the chairman of a company she founded. It's one of the most successful design and architectural firms really in the Midwest. And she's done it her own special way. And I think that civic involvement is really part of who she is.
I think it's kind of in my DNA because I started volunteering right when I started my business. I've been on various boards my whole entire career, and it makes you feel really good to give back to the community.
Her commitment to the community, and I will say in particular to the arts, is amazing.
I'm currently chairing the Contemporary Art Museum. One of the things that the Contemporary Art Museum does that people don't know is all their different education programs. And one of them is called New Art in the Neighborhood. And that's really a program for teens. And they learn how to put their portfolio together to get into college. And so far, 100% of them have gone to college.
We are so lucky in St. Louis to have somebody like Pat Whitaker. Can you believe she did dancing with the St. Louis Stars? I mean, that takes a lot of risk, a lot of commitment to the community, and it's sort of what Pat's all about.
The cause is for the Independence Center, which helps people with disabilities get jobs and become assimilated into the community, and they do a fabulous job. And they made a ton of money. I think they made $400,000 that year, and it's just from one gala. I mean, it was really fun, and I don't know if I would do that again, but I help them recruit other dancers now.
Pat's a very balanced person, committed to her business, involved in the community, but also she's committed to personal health and well-being, not only for herself, but everybody around her.
Last year I chaired the Go Red for Women event for the American Heart Association, and so our whole job there is to raise awareness, which we do through education and through this huge fundraising event we have every year, which we raised $750,000 in 2013.
For me, she's just a good role model of how to be successful in life, but wear that success very loosely. And I think her kindness and her ability to be generous of spirit, she's had a real dramatic impact on my life, and I'm just honored to count her as a personal friend.
You need to give back to the community that created an environment in which you could succeed. So I've kind of always lived by that.
Wasn't that wonderful? Wasn't that wonderful? It's really good when you can laugh and cry and think, and I believe we are doing that today. Our thanks again to these outstanding volunteers. And now to embarrass you further, because we're all about that today, because we love you so much, please welcome Nancy back to present the honors for this year's class of Women of Achievement.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Carol. And now officially we're going to give the Women of Achievement their honor. Virginia Brax is honored for cultural enrichment. Ida Early, honored for volunteer leadership. Eva Frazier, MD, honored for community health. Terry Grieg, honored for health awareness. Phyllis Langsdorff, honored for creative philanthropy. Diane Gershman-Levine, honored for health and education. Diane Miller, honored for family enrichment. Joanne Shore, honored for health advocacy. Linda Weitzer Scher, honored for child welfare. Pat Whitaker, honored for civic responsibility. And let's give them all a round of applause.
I don't know what I'm more shocked by, that we are on time. I think we're even early, Nancy. I think so. Or by this incredible class. It's been my honor to be with you for so many years now, and every year I'm always so amazed when I begin to read the bios. Unlike Trish, I'm like the 15th person to see the list, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm all right with that. You're under a lot of pressure. I appreciate what you do. But this class has done and is doing some remarkable things. And I tell you that because the reason that we are here is, yes, to say thank you to you and to honor you, but it is also to inspire others to do what is in your heart to do. We want to inspire volunteerism in the St. Louis community. And we want, because we're honoring them today, for them to know that they're not alone in what they do, that we are there for you today and forever, and that St. Louis is a better place because of you. And so you can nominate a woman who is doing great work. She doesn't have to be the chair of a board. She doesn't have to be someone who can write a check, because that's really not, unbeknownst to a lot of people, that is not what Women of Achievement is about. We don't just honor someone because they write a check. We honor women, go ahead, that's right, that is right. We honor women who are saving lives, changing lives, and it's been done by these women here. So with that, please know that we will be here again next year. We already have our date. We already have our staff in place. We'll be here next year on May the 5th. We hope to see you all on that date. But between now and then, please pay attention when the nominations are announced. Please submit the name of a woman who is doing amazing things, because she's out there. She doesn't want to be honored, but she's out there. So please have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. We're so grateful for your presence. Trish told me this today. You're a part of history. I need to let you know that. 750 people, the largest turnout ever. And because I know you went to math on this day in elementary school, this year's 59, next year, somebody did go to math that day. So we are going to do something, and I don't know, and I am not on one of the 14 committees, but she said that can be remedied. Oh my, spoke too soon. Next year on the 60th anniversary, we're going to do something remarkable. But don't we do that every year? Yes, we do. God bless you, and we will see you May 5th, 2015. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the 2014 Women of Achievement Luncheon. We'll see you back here on May 5th, 2015, as Women of Achievement celebrates its 60th anniversary. Have a great day.